In this demonstration, we're going to look at deploying software updates. So the first thing we need to do is we actually need to deploy the software. So I've come to my System Center Configuration Manager admin console. I'm just going to right click on my critical update group that I created earlier. And then what we'll do is we'll click deploy. This brings me into a little deployment wizard. So the first thing we'll do here is just change the deployment name. And now we've given a name, Critical Updates for Windows 10. We just need to specify our collection. So all we're going to do at this point here is we're just going to go for all Windows 10 workstations and select OK. We'll select Next. Under Deployment Settings, we'll ensure that this is required. And we want detail level of only success and error messages, but we could make this available, or we could just look for only success messages, error messages, or all messages. So we'll just leave the default and select Next. What we'll do at this point here is the time will be based on client local. Software available time, we'll make that available as soon as possible, and in the case of the installation deadline, we'll also make that as soon as possible. We'll select Next. In the case of my user experience, we're happy with the user notifications, displaying Software Center and show all notifications. We're not bothered about the deadline behavior because we're never going to reach the deadline, and we're not going to press any restarts. And in the case of Windows embedded devices, we're not using them either, so we'll just leave the default and select Next. In the case of my alerts, we will generate an alert when client compliance is below 95%. We'll offset the deadline by 7 days, and the alert generation, will represent that by local time. We're not using Ops Manager, so we won't turn on any of them ticks. We'll select Next. Deployment deadlines here, we don't have a slow network link, so this really doesn't affect us, but if we did, we're saying do not install software updates. Deployment options here as well, we'll download and install software updates from the fallback content source location if we lose the preferred deadline point. We will allow clients to share the content on the same subnet, and we don't have an internet link, so we're not really bothered about pulling down content from Microsoft updates, and we're not bothered about metered connection either. So we'll select Next. We'll click on Save as Template just to show that we can. So in the case of the template, all we're doing here is we're just saving all of the settings. So let's just give this a name. And then what we'll do at this point here is we'll just save this off so we can use this at a later date. Then what we'll do is just on the summary page, we'll select Next. This is going to go away and just progress through. And then what we'll do at this point here is we'll then select Close. So there you go, we've now deployed that software update. The next thing we need to do is we need to apply that software update. So now what we'll do is we'll just move over to our client machine. And on our client machine, what we're now going to do is we're just going to go into the Configuration Manager client. So in the Configuration Manager client, all we'll do here is we'll just go to Actions. And under Actions, what we want to do now is we just want to go to our Machine Policy and Retrieval Evaluation Cycle. And we'll just run that now. Click OK at this point here. And then what we'll also do as well is we just need to go to our Software Updates, Deployment Evaluation Cycle. And what we want to do is we also want to run that now. So we'll select OK. Now this is going to take a little while just for the policy to be pulled down. So at this point what we'll do is we'll just pause the demonstration and return back in a couple of minutes. So as we can see, software changes are required. Our IT department does require changes to the software on this computer, so we'll just click here for the options just to see what the options actually are. This takes us into Software Center. And as we can see, we have our cumulative update for Windows 10 version, and then that is the one that we actually put in place. We're waiting for the install, so we're not going to sit and watch this. So again, we'll just pause the demonstration and return back once the installation is complete. And the installation is now complete, so all we'll do at this point here is we'll click Restart again, and we're now restarting the workstation. So as we can see now, workstation's back up and running, so the next thing to do here is just go back across to our Configuration Manager server, and what we'll do here is we'll then just run our summarization and just ensure that everything is compliant. So just to finish off this demonstration, we'll just click our Run Summarization button. We'll select OK. And if we just come back, we can see we're now currently says pending system restart. We saw it restart, so we're just waiting for this to clear, and finally it should come back as compliant. And that's the end of this demonstration. Thank you.